still showing his screen top, or what do they call him? Background, his screen.
Yes.
Okay,
The
because he showed
the virtual background.
and I saw that one picture. That's what started all this conversation.
Exactly.
So that's another
Exactly.
anomaly.
Yes. Okay. Hello and welcome everyone. Hello, Syl. And today we have Sher-Unbound. So,
Yes.
and welcome again. Welcome back to the family. Okay, this is something like, okay, really feeling at home. So we guys are just having a fun time here. Before we start, as usual, thought of the day. It's not actually a thought of the day. It's just a thought of the moment. Before this,
It's different. It's different.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Shared something, and it was about having good stationery. I think every children, okay, I'm just saying that, okay, I'm just generalizing it. Most of the children have this thing that, okay, I wish I could have all the beautiful stationery. I wish I could have all these things. No matter how much blessed we were or not, it doesn't negate this dilemma that, okay, yes, we all have that, always craving for that. And this is kind of like a beauty of childhood also, that you never get enough. You always feel that, okay, you deserve more, you need more, you want more. And this is especially about the stationery and colors and papers and all these things. So
Yes.
Sher saw beautiful background Syl was choosing. And she says, Beena, do you have anything like, okay, like a beautiful stationery? And I shared my memory about this beautiful stationery. I have a very bad handwriting because my mind works in a completely different way and my hands works in a completely different way. This is how it is for me.
Oh.
And so I had this fear of, no, I don't want to spoil this. But I always become a bit rebellious against my own thinking that, oh, okay, whatever, I'm going to write because I love writing also. So this is how the things were for me. And then Sher mentioned something and she shared about motivation, which is a very interesting topic for me. And I said, okay, I'm going to just talk about this motivation today again. Motivation for me, uh, at least now, it's a very counterproductive thing. The way we try to motivate ourselves and others,
Oh.
because it actually we are going against what we really want at that time. So it is again coming back to the awareness thing, to be self-aware why I am not motivated to do something which I really want to do. That is the thing, because I feel and I think that most of the time we get influenced by the shoulds of the society and norms that, okay, these are the good things, I should do this.
Yep.
No matter how much I want it or not, like exercising, like jogging, like eating healthy, like being vegetarian or vegan or whatever we want to, and also writing daily. These are coming from the norms of the new modern norms of the society. And we assume that, okay, if we are a good person, which actually we all are, we have to have all these good habits, punctuality, all these things. But why we are not motivated? Because my body, maybe my body at that time is demanding something else. Just want to rest more, want to have sleep more, just want to have some good things to eat, or just I just want to gaze and like on the sky and just want to spend my time there. And if we just get into this mindset that if I'm not motivated, it means that this is not on priority right now. We can get things done more rapidly, more easily, if we start following. This is my thinking. It could be totally wrong, but this is what I feel, that you don't need to write, anyone, okay, I'm including myself, we don't need to write every day. We can write once a week, once a month, but it will come out of our heart. It will directly come out of our soul. And we will get alignment of our mind, body, and soul at that time. When we feel that urge, no external motivation needed, no should, no hush, hush, oh, yes, you have to get up, you have to do this. No, I don't need to. Practice is something else. Practicing, doing something for the practice sake is something completely different, which has nothing to do with the motivation. Okay, yes, this is something I choose because it is actually sharpening my skills and all these things. This is a different thing. But to create something, to do something where we need motivation for that, that is completely different. And I feel that, okay, the motivation nowadays is a bit counterproductive for our soul and for our well-being. This is what I think. So, and of course, I have two people there who have definitely, they have a different understanding. And of course, they will share their things. I am following this. This is a piece of being. No matter how big Guru is saying something that I need to get up at 4:30 in the morning and do all these things, if I don't feel comfortable, I'm not going to push myself for doing that. No, no. Unless or until it is coming like, okay, yes, it makes sense, Beena. Okay, and I tried. If it is going to be in alignment with my inner system, then it is going to be innate to me. This is how all the learning process is happening for me. So why not taking care of our body and also taking care of our consciousness also in the same manner? I'm not going to push myself for anything unless or until it is coming directly from my internal system. Then there is no stress, there is no friction. I will start writing and I can keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. Yes, discipline is different. For discipline, you don't need motivation. Like it is like, okay, if you are hungry, nobody needs to motivate you. You are hungry,
That's a
you will
very
get up.
interesting point. All right, so Beena, the live started later than, so we missed the first part of what you said. So Beena's talking about motivation and all of the nuances of motivation. Sher brought this up, and Sher is going to respond in a moment and add her perspective. But this is a very interesting point, that for discipline, it's not about motivation. It's just doing it, whether you're motivated or not.
Exactly. If you're sleepy, you will go to bed. If you are not, then of course you will get up. If you are hungry, nobody will come and say, oh, you are hungry, you need to eat. No, you will get up and you will do that because it's a need.
Now that's a need. That's different to discipline though, right?
I'm saying that, but also that, okay, sometimes you just follow the discipline that, okay, yes, I'm not sleepy, but my body is striving for the rest, so I'm going to rest. This is discipline. Maybe, okay, you are not sleepy, still you will go and just lie down, okay, that I will take rest. So discipline is something different, motivation is different, and the need is different. Right. So for me, it is a completely different topic now. And of course, we can go more in detail, and I would love to hear from Syl and Sher, especially because she is listening and she said, oh, Beena, it doesn't make any sense. Maybe. I would love to hear that because this is how I'm going to learn. This is how I'm going to, of course, grow.
Exactly.
So I'm always open for that. Yeah. That, okay, I always say with the disclaimer that I could be totally wrong. This is working for me.
And before Sher responds, I just want to say what Beena just said there. This is part of this new alternate paradigm that we are sharing. Here in the space, we like to hear, because if you're going to say, no, that didn't make any sense to me, I'm going to go, yay, not be all stressed. Oh, what did I say? Oh, did I say it all wrong? If I'm wrong, that's fantastic, because I'm going to learn. Different paradigm, different paradigm, right? We're not concerned with stuff like that. The only thing we're concerned about, learning, growth, moreness. Anyway, so let's hear, Sher, what you were going to share about motivation. You muted. Start again.
Yes, hello.
I had to do it. It's classic for Sher. So
it's all wonderful. All wonderful.
Okay. Beena, wow, I'm still trying to absorb everything you said because there was one word that was resonating with me over and over again in my head. When you mentioned need, my mind automatically went to hungry. Motivation to me. Am I hungry enough? Whether it's emotionally, whether it's physically, whether it's, something, or do I want to back away from the should? What am I hungry for? And that's where I find a little bit of that motivation. I have to desire it how do I do this? How do I say this? I'm just trying to give an example. Okay, weight loss. The motivator there was my life, and I'm hungry for life. I'm absolutely hungry for life. So that was my motivator, and that keeps me going because I'm not ready to quit yet. I got things to do.
Exactly. We love you and we need
lots,
you.
lots,
Yes.
lots.
And-
One pause, very important here. Hello, Norma. Hello, Norma. Hello, Norma. Norma.
Hi, Norma.
Say again, Sher. Say again, Beena.
Oh, so
Oh, no, I mean the
because-
hello part. I didn't hear it
oh, yeah,
properly.
no, I said hello, Norma.
Oh, hello, Norma. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, Norma. Glad to hear, Norma. All right, keep going, Sher. Keep going.
If I am following the motivation of should, I'm not being myself.
Yes.
I'm ignoring my authentic self.
I'm not being
Yes.
myself.
Sorry, there we
So-
go. Sorry, sir.
Together feedback. So I'm kind of, when I said earlier that, motivation isn't my friend, the way motivation is defined and seen and practiced, as you used, by the majority, I just
Yes.
can't do. I resist it.
Exactly.
I resist it. And so but then I get into that trap of that life trap of guilting myself for, not being motivated to do X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
And that is a
Yes.
nasty life trap to get stuck in. I don't want to do that. So,
Exactly.
um,
Exactly.
do we need to do certain things? Yes. And of course, I'm going to do the things that I don't like to do only because they are for my benefit.
Right.
Exactly.
But
Right.
I mean, because if somebody's going to put a plate of brownies in front of me next to a plate of cooked carrots,
Mhm.
I'm not going to be motivated to touch those carrots.
Okay. Okay. So this is something. Sure. I just need
Did you say brownies?
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
God, come on. Come on, Syl. Don't be rude.
Hello.
Don't be rude now. You are showing that. Okay.
Oh, all right. I've got more. I've got enough for everybody. I got plenty. So, yeah.
Okay. Sure.
So went shopping yesterday. Go
Yes,
ahead,
okay.
please.
So when you were saying, sure, that okay, you decided that was the time when you decided really that okay, now it is important. It is my life, and I want to live. I love life, and I want to live more, and I want to live healthy. Not only just live more, I want to live healthy also. I want to live at the fullest. Then nobody needs to come and say, "Oh no, sure, you have to do this." That was the real thing. Then
Yes.
you don't need any motivation. Every single time when you were making choice, it was deliberate because, okay, now I have a goal and I have decided. Then the motivation part actually changes into a completely different. Then it is your way of being. Then it becomes your way of being. This is
Okay.
the difference in the motivation, like, okay, I need constant push because, okay, I am not. When I need a constant push, it means I'm not ready. This which also means that I'm not willing to do this right now for whatever reason. So unless or until I resolve that reason, I address that reason, or it will become my own thing, like okay, now it is my way of being. Now I'm choosing all these things, not because that okay, my doctor was saying, not because everybody else was looking at me that okay, oh, look at her, because I have been there, I know that. Okay, so I'm saying about myself, okay, how people are doing all these things. No, nothing was actually a motivator for me. No.
Wow.
When I feel that, okay, I want to be myself, that is something, okay, yes, now I have decided this is my way of being. I want to be myself. That's it. So you don't need any motivation, external motivation at all. This is your way of being. You decided something. Motivation comes and, okay, oh, I need to remind myself, I need to sit on my desk at 5 p.m. and then start, okay, oh, 5 a.m., whatever. I need to write 2 pages. No, I don't need to write. I will write only 1 line, okay, because this is what I like. I will write at any time because it will come out of my soul, my heart. This is what I like to do. Okay, I can write 1,000 pages if I really want to. If I have something to share, I will do that. Like poetry. Yeah, yes, some people actually can do this like really industrious way, but not everyone. For me, if it is coming out of my soul, okay, I'm writing it.
There you go. There you go. There you go. All right. So
yes,
so-
what you
so
choose here is from all your beings, your heart, your soul, your true self, your higher self, your inner self, your consciousness, your subconscious. Everything goes aligned. Yes, that's it. We want to do this because this is what we want to, not because of any nonsense. So for me, this is the motivation thing. Yes.
So for me, on this topic of motivation, my background here. No invasions.
It's
Thank you very
beautiful.
much.
It's gorgeous.
Keep your place, aliens. Anyway, so for me, when I come to motivation, this is a topic that is very, very, very crucially important to me, right? And when, everything that I do is founded on understanding the psychology of motivation. It's super, super important. Because if you can self-motivate, you have a superpower, right? So self-motivation is very critical. So for me, when something comes up to do, it falls into various categories. Yes, need. Well, okay, if I need to go to the bathroom. Well, I don't want to get up, but okay, I don't want to wet my pants here, so okay, I get up. So it's very simple. The motivation, like Beena said, it's kind of obvious. Or when you have to go eat, right? It happens automatically. You're tired and sleepy, okay, you're sitting there and you're keeping your eyes over, eventually you fall asleep anyway. So it happens, right? So need is in own category. But then you get want, desire, and also what is important. Yeah, that's very different. So often when I say, well, I want to do this, okay, yeah, I want to go to the supermarket. Do I really need to? No, I still got enough stuff. Okay, I'm low on some stuff, or maybe even out of some stuff, but I can substitute. So, all right, yeah, whatever. I try to go to the supermarket as little as possible. So that's why this is a good example. So often I go when I'm like really, really out, and that's typically when I'm out of sugar. That's when I've got, okay, you know what? I'm almost out, but I didn't get any yesterday. Anyway, so that's like want and need. Now it becomes an issue of effort reward. When it's stuff that, okay, maybe it's like I want to go watch a movie. Well, yeah, but so much effort. No, forget it. Right? Effort doesn't match the reward. The reward of going to an actual theater to watch a movie and relative to the reward at this point in time, no, not going to happen because I'm going to rather watch it at home and do other stuff while I do. So there's that kind of one. However, I want to change a habit. Like I wanted to change my habit of saying good morning to good morness, right? That's very cool.
Okay.
Now, this is something that I want, which is a desire, want, but also I feel it's kind of important, at least in my communications here. And we're talking about, we're part of sharing this whole Nobleness program, right? And the book, the new Nobility book, that's the focus, right? Sharing this new paradigm. And on Nobelia, this is how they greet each other, right? I wrote it into the story. It's there, right? They say good morning. And they will even say when they say goodbye, they'll say good morning sometimes, right? It's a greeting. It's a general all-purpose greeting, like shalom is very similar to shalom, right? Good mornings, right? So it's, may you go with good mornings or something. It depends on circumstance. But anyway, so my point is I wanted to change my habit. And this isn't just a desire, wanting a cupcake or wanting a movie or something that's whether I do it or not doesn't matter. To me, it does matter. So now, how do I motivate to do this? Because to change a habit, like saying good morning, it's a reflex almost. It's so built into us. It's a total habit, right? That takes a little bit of doing. And I was saying earlier to Sher and Beena, in order to do this, those first few days until it is automatic again as the new habit, you have to be exquisite on it, and you have to catch yourself before you say good morning, right? And you have to be really attentive. So you have to set the intent and be motivated to be paying attention to yourself kind of 24/7, so that you don't say it just automatically, right? So you have to be very hyper alert to change this. And that takes a good amount of energy, but it pays off. And the way to motivate is to change the importance level. Yeah. So when I'm motivated to eat my cupcake, is this important? No. Yes. However, for me to say good morning, is it really important? Maybe you can say, well, no, you're not going to die if you don't do this. But for me, it is. And to change the habit, I reset the importance level to say, this for me has become important. Yeah. Once I declare it important and I feel it's important and it resonates with me inside, now it's become important to me and it changes my motivation, and therefore I'm able to maintain that necessary awareness and alertness to be observant throughout the day for whenever I say good morning or hello, right? And all right, I don't always substitute good mornings for hello, because hello is very precious to me also. They go together typically, right? But the key point I'm making is about changing the importance level, changes our motivation. Now, many other things you might say, well, a lot of people don't do things that they need to do. Like I need to pay my bills, and they're like, I don't want to go. I'll go tomorrow, and then they're late on their stuff. They get into trouble. Why? Because they don't change the importance level. It is important, but they don't elevate it to important now, right? And that's very important, right? So when we understand this with motivation and we start to associate it with importance level, and then also important is not urgent. And when you really understand that, really think it through, what's the difference between important and urgent? Yeah. So yes, paying my bill is important, but it's not urgent. However, I'm late. Now it's urgent. Eh? See, it changes. So you have to really understand this. And if it's urgent, there's nothing that's now. Urgent means now. You do it now, right? Like, okay, your house is on fire. It's urgent to get out. It's now, no delay, right? So this is very important to really be acutely aware of the difference between want, desire, want, desire, like, okay, I'd like to have that, but it's not important or urgent. Right? Other things, I want to have it, like for me, changing to saying good mornings. I want to have that, but also I feel it's important because in the context of these lives, and just with Beena and I, when we're discussing, or you and I, Sher, when we're talking about this, right? To bring this into the conversation, it is a connectivity to the new nobility world, right? Now, I don't consider myself a new noble. I'm just an aspirant, and I'm far away from that. However, every little thing I can do that brings me closer, I do. Yes, because in making that greeting, I've not only changed my habit, which is very important, I'm sharing this whole conception of what it is. Now, of what the whole new nobility culture ideology is, right? The noble ideal, Nobelia-Living, everything. And that's the background. This is, illustrations of Nobelia. Now, Sher, what is the first thing you asked me? You said something like, what's going on?
Yeah, I said, no, I said, what's your topic for the day?
Oh, okay. So, well, the topic for the day is to finish the story that we've been reading, this little sub-story, because on Sunday we didn't get to read the second part of the final chapter where we would have typically done, because we got involved with your poem and that took up all the time and it was wonderful, right? So again, as appropriate, we shift. So for this week, where we would normally be doing the capital R readings of the chapter part that we read on Sunday, I don't have anything to go over because we didn't do it, right? So I said, well, I mentioned this other story, which is Biella's golf adventure, which is what I read yesterday and the day before, Monday, Tuesday. So we've done the first two parts and we've got the part 3 to do today. So that was on the agenda, but now you've come, so maybe we'll get there, maybe not. We'll see. But before that, I have something to share, and I meant to share it yesterday, and I said to Norma, hold on, I've got something exciting. In the middle of the night, I said to Norma, I woke up in the middle of the night, so I got something exciting to share with you in the morning. But I meant on Zoom, but then Norma couldn't be here yesterday, so okay. So here it is, Norma. Are you listening? This is what I wanted to share with you yesterday, right? That's important. So let me refresh to check the comments. Right? Make sure Norma's listening, right? This is something that happened that's really cool, that's pretty exciting, and that's gonna be happening soon. It's like a big deal, right? That's coming up. Just laying the groundwork here to make sure Norma's here. So Norma said hello, Norma. That was me saying that. Okay. Love all your beings, says Norma. All right. So hi, Sher, she says. Okay. So good. You're still here. All right. Wonderful, Norma. Wonderful. All right. So what happened is I did a interview for a podcast, and it's called Professional Business News Group, PBNG, right? And they are I don't know why they call it business news. Maybe it's just a name they started with and got stuck with. But typically they're doing interviews of life coaches, therapists, counselors, people who are doing, all the supported activities, and also people like interior designers and stuff like that, right? So they have a niche, and they are in the top 1.5% of podcasts. right? So they are widely listened to, right? And they have a substantial listenership. I think he said the producer contacted me. So anyway, so to give the whole story, so I did an interview with them, and I'm like, it's like a 5-minute interview. Oh wow, okay. And I commented to Beena, I said, and they do this a lot, right? Everybody they schedule like 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, five. I said, this is very interesting business model, because if you go to the website, you see all these 5-minute interviews. And I said, how does this make any sense to them? Because all I did was say what I do on this interview, right? Pretty much describe what I do. But then they take this and they gauge the reactivity on this, how people respond to this. And if the 5-minute interview gets a favorable response, then they follow up and do more, right? And they give you an opportunity to do more, right? And so I'm going to be doing this now, right? So I'm involved in this too, and I'm contracted with them, and together with them, we are going to be doing a series of 10 podcasts, half-hour-long podcasts, and they've got 2 interviewers that, and one of them or both of them, they interview celebrities, and they give a clip there where, like, one of the interviews, the one I'm going to be doing with her, she does for them, I believe, does the red carpet at the Oscars. Jill, I forget her last name. You remember the last name, Beena?
No, I just don't remember the Jill. This is the thing.
Yeah. Also, every time the other guy, Steve Harper, that I could choose, but I chose the Jill. Well, I didn't really know, and I said, I'm biased towards women. What can I do? So I'll just choose a woman, right? So, but I looked at them. I did review and check, and I do prefer her. So Melanini, come on. So remember it now. Now I can't get my inbox to work. So, very good. Very good. 2 things sold, 3 things. Oh, very good. So got some business while we were chatting, Beena. Very exciting. I'll tell you her name in a moment here, because it is
Jill
important. Nicolini. There you go. Thank you. So Jill Nicolini, and she's been on like Law and Order as an actress, but mainly she does the interviewing, right? And like a clip for the Oscars and all that. She interviews also. All right. So doesn't matter. She's at least known as this doing interviews. So all right, very cool. And they have a huge listenership. I'm trying to remember how many he said the total listenership is. Let's see. I don't remember, but I think over the course of a year, it's like millions. But anyway, whatever. They're not small. So now what I'm going to be doing is making these podcasts, and then they get aired, not just 10, but over the course of the year. I think they're going to be doing like 200 times. They share this over the course of the year, right? It's very cool. Plus, I get a billboard where I put up an ad. And they said it's a virtual billboard. And at first, I thought they meant like it's online. And I'm like, okay. But no, it's an actual billboard on the side of the road. It's just electronically organized so that you can change your message as appropriate as you need to, right?
Yes.
And this will run for a year, right? This is an ad.
Yes, for a year, Syl will be there.
Right. Well, I'm not going to be on the billboard 24/7. I don't think, Beena. I think the message has changed. But still, that billboard gets seen by 500,000 people every day. Drive past it. This will be in all over Phoenix. They have a bunch of these billboards, right? So, I'm going to be viewed 500,000 times, 500,000 times every day, right? Okay. So, and I will recommend them to you as well, sir, that you get onto them as well, right? So that you can do this too. Now, I don't know if you want to do because there's cost involved for me in making this fuller series, right? But I can do it with them. Now they won't do it with anybody. They do the test 5 minutes. If you get a good response to that, then they follow up, because there's advertisers involved, and if they like you, then they'll subsidize it somewhat, but there's still cost involved. So okay, it's a plus and minus thing. I suppose you could do it with them if they didn't like you, and pay the full amount. Maybe, I don't know, but even though you're paying someone, say, well, it sounds like a little bit of a funny thing. No, if they just take anybody, they dilute their brand, right? So that's why they have to be picky about who they will take on to do this, even though you're paying, right? So even though you're willing to pay, they still might not take you. And it makes sense because otherwise you could have very boring people. So they liked my 5-minute thing. People actually called in to ask questions on the 5-minute interview. Now, of course, they didn't respond to it because it's only 5 minutes, right? And this was like a big deal for them, and we're very happy with this, right? So I got a 9.7 out of 10 rating. Yeah. So anyway, just went very well. So I'm going to be doing this. This is the big announcement, and I'm going to be doing this podcast series, and it will start on April the 3rd, Wednesday, April the 3rd. That will be the first one,
Yes.
and then every Wednesday after that for 10 weeks, and then after that they'll show repeats, right? So that all these things get shown 200 times, and I
Yes.
get, I'll have links, and I'll put links, and I'll be really making sure everybody knows about it. And also, I have full ownership of that. So I can put it on my YouTube and on my website, and on
Yes.
Facebook.
Finally,
on my timeline.
Syl is start getting some of the recognition he deserves. Really,
Yeah,
I'm not
due
saying that
recognition.
he's my friend. No, he is really, he really deserves that. Of course, it is just a start. At least this is from where I see. It is just a start. Well, very well, and of course, it's been very late. When Syl shared with me, I was excited, but I was like, duh, it has to be. That's it. Okay, we have been waiting for that, so it has to
Yeah.
be. And I have seen so many people also there who deserve more than what they are right now getting, including you, Sher. You deserve more than that, really.
No.
It's not because that what you are doing, but who you are. You really deserve much more than that. So I feel that, okay, and
Thank you, Beena.
I
Thank you,
have my
Beena.
own intents for you guys. I have my own intents for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we will see. We will see. More will come, Sher. Definitely.
Right. Now, I don't know how they asked me to do the first interview, the 5-minute one. No idea how that came about. Somewhere they saw me, noticed me. Okay.
Yes.
Glad that they did.
Well,
Yes, they did. Nobody was noticing. Okay, many were not noticing. Many were not getting this. And okay, yes. So it was all due. And
Yeah.
this is mostly I have seen that. Okay, sometimes you can see that. Okay, at least in this case, how universe works. If you are doing your work earnestly, if you are doing whatever you like to, and you are doing it earnestly, some people where you are actually serving directly, they might not respond in a way. Like some people do cheat
Right.
with other people.
Right.
They give them their money, or
Mhm.
sometimes other things like, okay,
Right.
and not saying that, okay, with Syl, but other people. I have seen that, okay, people do that with artists, with other people, like, okay, oh yes, okay, they got these things and they never pay back.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually snatch anything from the artist, because they will get something from someone completely out of nowhere, and then the universe just compensate that in a big
Yeah.
way. So
Yeah.
it
happens.
happens.
It happens.
It happens. Even if people are not responding in a right way, if you have done your things with honesty, self-honesty, it will come back. Definitely it is going to
Exactly.
come back.
Mhm.
Exactly.
No one can take
Exactly.
anything from it. No.
Exactly. Exactly. Ha! Norma says, so universe recommended.
Exactly.
Thank
Very
you,
well said.
Norma.
Yeah,
Thank
Norma.
you, Norma. Thank you, wonderful Norma. Thank you, wonderful. I love that. I love that. Universe recommended. I'm going to use it on my promotional
Universe.
material, like universe recommended. Right. Never mind
That
three
needs to,
dentists
Syl,
or.
that needs to go on the banner. You need to put like one of those
Right.
stamps,
Exactly.
like,
Exactly.
approved. You need to universe
Exactly.
recommended.
Exactly.
Right, because somebody in the house, or dentist approved or whatever, universe recommended and approved. Yeah.
Four out
And
of five. 4 out of
yeah.
5. Participants recommend.
Well, 4 out of 5 universes recommend. Never mind participants.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We'll go with Norma's. We'll go with Norma's
Universe
logic here.
approved, galaxy
Yeah.
sanctioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. So exactly, Norma. March is for rehearsing. All right. So I'm gonna make this billboard. I was thinking about it. Right. to say, well, let me, yeah, right. So I wanted to say, for me, on what I'm going to do for the billboard, the writing, but also I'm making an audio ad that plays on the podcast, while I'm doing this, right? Before, after my ad plays, or during, I don't know when exactly. So I have two major ads, the billboard and the audio. So the audio one's 30-second ad, and unhappy with who you are, dislike who you currently are,
I like that.
want to
Say
change.
it again, please.
Right.
Say it again,
So
please.
the ad reads on the billboard, and it's the start of the 30-second ad, is unhappy with who you currently are, dislike who you are, question mark. You can hear it in my question. Right. So unhappy with who you currently are, dislike who you are, want to change, don't know how to change. WOI@nobelia.org. That's it.
Yeah. Simple, direct.
Yeah. And not, are you, right? Are you unhappy? No. The reason I don't put that are you in, because this type of ad, everybody says, are you? Yes. And I know that, way of impeccability is for people who want to change, right? And I'll put that in the longer ad, in the 30-second ad, because on the billboard, you're driving on the highway, right? Especially in Phoenix, on those there, you're going 70, 80, 90 miles an hour sometimes, and you're zipping by those billboards very quickly. So you need something you can catch in one glance, right? Okay, but if the traffic's backed up, then you get to read it. But all right. So this is the key, and that's why I'm not going to use Syl Sabastian at Nobelia.org, but the shortest and easiest to remember, WOI@Nobelia.org, very easy to remember, right? Very simple. But this is the longer ad. I'll say, do you want tools for change, right? Don't know how, but you want tools, not a belief system to change to, but tools to change yourself. This is what I provide. And I was thinking of, they sort of give you prompts for making your ad, but also I was thinking just in the overview of coming onto this podcast, it's like, what do I say? I've got so much stuff going on, got the different programs and the books and the stories and a whole new world and new concepts and the language of conceptuality and, dictionary, all the stuff. So a lot of it, right? So if you ask me, what am I about? Go ahead. Ask me what I'm about.
What are you about?
I provide tools for Moreness-Living.
You provide tools for Moreness-Living?
Yes. See, now you're the interviewer, right? Sure.
Okay.
Pretend you Jill. Now, what are you going to do when I say that? What do you mean Moreness-Living?
You saw what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm just pausing because I'm like, well,
exactly.
What does that mean?
Exactly. You didn't even have to say what do you mean, right?
Yeah.
Your pause, that like you could hear, and if it's a video, you can see that that's exactly why. Now that is what I do, right? I mean, that's the totality of what I do. Yes. In other words, it's not just for me. Yes, but I mean, in terms of what I do in the greater context of this, I mean, to me, I acquire tools, I develop tools, I apply tools, and I use tools. Me personally, I use tools that I've developed for Moreness-Living. What I mean by Moreness-Living, okay, that's a long topic. That's we're already familiar with Moreness-Living. If you've been on this, you're watching this, these lives that I've been doing, basically on the Nobelia series, Biella series, and on Nobelia-Living, Nobleness, Nobility, being noble, etc. Right? It is to take yourself beyond where you are and to get into your own definition of your personal moreness, which goes beyond just your regular self, right? So your moreness would be things like your consideration, the capital C consideration, capital T trust, caring, discernment, awareness, understanding, application, practicing. Yes, so that you have skills of sophistication, skills of depth, skills of accomplishment, skills of competence, right? Where you're not struggling, where life is not just easy but a joy. That's Moreness, right? Where life is not just easy but a joy. For many people, okay, they've got wealth or whatever, you're living on your own. Well, life is pretty easy. But There's not necessarily moreness there, right? I'm just existing. I've got all my needs taken care of. Yeah, see? So where's the joy? Where's the depth? It's not just joy, but significance, meaning, purpose, right? Those three, meaning,
Discovering
purpose,
what brings you
significance.
joy.
Right. Say again, sir?
Discovering what brings you joy.
Right. And also what brings you meaning, purpose, and significance. That's
Right.
moreness too, right? So joy is, yes, I go watch a movie, I get joy. Yes. But that doesn't necessarily provide me with meaning, purpose, and significance. That's soul joy. Yeah. So it
Being
may,
provides
it
you
may.
joy.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it may. I'm just using it as example in general, right? I mean, certainly I
Yeah,
get
okay.
tons of meaning and purpose out of movies. Yeah, but I'm just using it as example now. Or eating my cupcake. Yeah, my cupcake gave me lots of joy, but there's no MPS in that. Now, MPS not only stands for meaning, purpose, and significance, it also stands for magic per second.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, right? So
Magic per
very
second.
important, very important. We want magic per second, not per minute, per day, no, magic per second. In other words, you want to live in this magic. That's moreness, right? We have lots of fun and joyful things in our life, but do you have magic? Are you in attunement? To live in attunement, this is, to me, it is really what spirituality means. When you go about and you ask people to talk about spirituality, what exactly do you mean by spirituality? Can you define this for me? They can't, right? They will struggle to, right? And you get a lot of waffle and woo-woo stuff in this. They can't really define it. Now, I will say, to me, spirituality is attunement. Yes, very, very important. Very, very important and very critical, right? And now you may say to me, well, what do you mean by attunement? And now we start to get into the depth and the detail and the nitty-gritty, as you know, because you're now familiar with attunement and you do live and practice it to a certain extent, right?
It only took me 2 years.
Right. It doesn't matter. It is a complex term because to live in attunement, to truly be living spiritually, of course, this is not something you're going to accomplish in 2 seconds, 2 minutes, or 2 days, or even 2 weeks, or maybe even 2 months. 2 years, yes, yeah, because it's a lifetime change. You have to change.
But it's also a daily practice.
Precisely.
It's a daily practice. Application practice every single day.
Right. Norma asks, I got a whole bunch of wonderful questions from Norma here. So let me catch up with Norma here. Syl, Universal Reminders, fantastic. March is for rehearsing. Yes. So during March now, I need to put together over the 10 programs what all I want to cover. However, though, they did say on these 30-minute things, they will also have calls. And pretty much, I think they're going to do 5 video and 5 audio. On the audio ones, I'm not really going to go with topics. I'm just going to do calls. Because for me, and I'll stipulate that if you're calling in, have an earnest question. An earnest question, and I'll define what it means, which is a question that you've thought about, you've thought through, you're coming at from different angles, you've gone with it as far as you can, but you stuck. And it's important to you. You really want to know. Ask me a question like that, and you're going to get a fantastic answer. You will get lots more than you might be expecting, right? So I want to do those questions. But in the first 5, I want to share about Way-of-Impeccability, the program. I want to share about the psychology of the superiority paradigm, capital H, hearing and helping, and about nobility. Right? Those are the 4 main cores, and then the book series and other books and stories. I'll share about that too. Right? So that's be my core for those 5 programs and that's what the rehearsing is going to be doing. Shake like I'm doing now. I'm sharing. What I'm saying now is all the same thing that I can say on the interview. So if I'm using my hands too much, tell me, and I'll just put them, and I'll go down here, and maybe you'll see it bob up a little bit. But because for me, I like that emphasis. And when I'm reading stories, even if I'm just reading it for myself or to record it, I use my hand for the emphasis and key and the focus. It helps my intent and helps me to elucidate and express the feeling that I mean, right? So, sometimes people are using their hands just like this, it's just a support. But no, for me, my hand is emphasis, key point, right? If you watch my hand, you'll see they're different. Like this is not that strong. This is a strong one, right? You can really see the measure of my emphasis. It really helps. But it helps me internally. Whether you can see it or not, doesn't matter. It helps me. So even if I'm on just audio, just on radio or whatever, I'm still going to use the hand, right? I don't know if it's too much. Maybe, I don't know. Tell me. All right. So I'll be asking questions like this now for feedback. All right. So Norma says it's good reading. So is the billboard near main road? Cars will be banging into each other or breaking to listen. Hey, they only read, Norma. They don't listen. Maybe on the billboard, I can put, just besides emailing me to contact, also say where to listen, right? And I can give this, a podcast PBNG. That's it. And then you can just go and look that up and you'll find it. Yeah. And then you get, or find me on all. I'll be on Apple, Spotify. Through them, I'll be on all the major ones. I don't know, it's like 10 or 12 of them that they go to, but, Apple, whatever, all the major ones are there. So, yeah, so you'll be able to find me very on. But to answer your question on the billboards, yes, they are on major highways, freeways, actually, I think. And they're all over the greater Phoenix area. I can actually show a map, but it's not necessary to show the map. Right, so they're multiples in different places all over the greater Phoenix area, like 20 or so of these billboards. And I'm assuming that they rotate all their people who are now signed up for this with them and who are producing these things and making the ads and all of the stuff. That's the little bit that I pay that does this. Not that little, but there's a moreness to it that this is very expensive. If you were to do this just on your own, it's going to cost you 25,000. But because because they liked what I did, the sponsors are going to pick up the most of that tab, right? So they now, this is how the business model of the PBNG group is. Yes, so they get you to pay some, but it's a very clever model. Those little 5-minute interviews are essentially tests to hear how people respond to this, right? And so they do that, and then also the 30-minute ones, obviously, these go in between. But if they get a good response, they say, wow, the people like this, what he had to say. They like the voice, whatever, right? And the topic and all the stuff. Now, the advertisers say, fine, if this person is going to make the podcast, which I'm going to pay for the production of the podcasts and the ads and all this, because there's people getting involved there, right? The advertisers say, fine, because this person got a good response, we'll come and run our ads during their podcast or before and after. Yeah. So this smart. Now, right. So now they know already from the test that this person is getting a good response. So therefore their ads are likely to be seen by more. So this is valuable to them, right? It's just a way of them placing their ads appropriately. So I understand the business model. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So and that the advertisers, they are subsidizing the billboard for me. Why? Because that also advertises them, right? Because I'm assuming in this billboard they'll have the logo there, PBNG. I don't have to put it in my message. Find us podcast, and this is just to interest you in going to the podcast, right? So whatever my ad is, it makes the viewer, the listener, the podcaster, right? People who follow podcasts, make them interested. And of course, the more, if my ad, they're sponsoring that because it helps them, right? Rather than them just saying, well, we are, Toyota, whoever it is. Well, they run ads all the time. So it's indirect for them. And, for them to run that billboard on their own is very expensive. But now it's subsidized because there's a whole bunch of different people, different advertisers, all works out. So it's a very clever model. And also they get the advertising on the podcast, which is more intimate, it's more personal. The billboards you drive past, you start to not pay attention, after a while, right? Especially if they're typical normal ads for big products like Toyota or soap or whatever, right? But on the podcast, it's now more intimate. Yes. It's more connected. So you may have less people hearing it, but you have a higher response rate. So this is very powerful. When you understand advertising. Okay, now I don't care about that. For me, you say, well, what are you going to get out of it? So, what's the point for you? Well, a couple things. One, I'm spreading this point about alternative paradigms. That's very important to me. Yes. But also, obviously, people are going to know about my programs. Right? So they can call up and say, hey, I want to do Way-of-Impeccability. I want to do psychology of superior paradigm, cabinet sharing, whatever, right? I want to do this, okay? So first of all, there's that. Now, at this point in time, yes, I will take on participants, but not too many. There's very few slots available because I have so much to do. And I don't have the time to take on too many. Probably about 6, maybe 10 at the most. Yeah, even 10 is a lot. 6, probably 3, 4, 5, 6, somewhere around there. That's kind of cool, right? All right. So just that's for one thing. The other thing is, of course, making people aware of the books and the writing, right? So they can go there, especially the Biella series book 1, which I haven't published yet as a formal book publishing, yes. And I might not do it in this either, right? Maybe just say, look, you like this, I'm going to talk about it. I'll put you on my mailing list and let you know when I publish it. Because what I want to do is, yes, I can self-publish it, but I feel this is a paradigm-changing book series. Not just paradigm changing in the bigger sense, but it's a book series that once people really know what it's about, it'll go viral and it will be one of those things that has a substantial following. Where people, when you have this type of a book and people are following it, they get into it, they make an effort to apply it, and they start thinking of themselves as aspirants, and they aspire to become new nobles, and all of the stuff that goes with it. They adopt the terminology and the vocabulary, which is the language of conceptuality, and all these little things, right? If you're a fan, you start capitalizing important words in your writings. Okay, little thing, small thing, but it's that point from Dictionary of Power, right? Just for the emphasis, and to say, when I say capital R responsibility is different to regular responsibility, or capital T trust. Capital T trust is a great one because most people, I trust the universe. Yeah, well, that's just wishful thinking. Capital trust, however, I'm first impeccable. I've done every single thing that I possibly can do, know how to do, and now I'm satisfied that I've been able to do everything. Okay, what's left to do? Just trust, right? See, but capital T trust is built on impeccability. So capital T trust means more than regular trust. Yes, on the overall, you're still trusting kind of the same, but there is a distinct difference, right? And this is so with many, many, many terms. Take manipulation. We were talking about this the other day, right? Sure, what are you doing when you write your story? What are you doing when you're listening to a story or reading a story or watching a movie? Aren't you being manipulated? Yes, of course you are. But you're willingly being manipulated. You want your emotions to be manipulated by the writers and the actors, correct?
Yeah,
exactly. Right. But the point I'm making is when we use the word manipulation, it's like a bit sour. Man, I don't want to be manipulated. Do I want to be even influenced? You don't want to say. But do I want to say, yes, I want to be affected. Yes. Thank you. Yes, I want an author who can affect me.
Yeah.
It's manipulation. It's manipulation. Sorry. But the word is important. And that's why the Dictionary of Conceptuality is so huge. And to understand association management, that even though we understand there's benign manipulation, there's desired manipulation, to use the word manipulation is still not cool. It still sours a little bit. Now when we say affected, yes, okay, cool, yes, yeah. So entertain. To be entertained means somebody is manipulating you.
I've never thought of it that way before.
Right. I mean, if you're an entertainer, right, I take comedians, right? Some audiences, it works, and not now. If they're really good comedians or actors or performers, and especially the comedians, they will get some feedback initially when they're doing lives, right? And they'll hear how the jokes are going. Say, well, all right, this stuff's a little bit too political. I better shift. And this stuff's a little bit too salty. I better shift. And they'll adapt on the fly to attune to the audience. Yes. And they give the audience what the audience is receptive to, what the audience wants. And how is that not manipulation? They're getting they're doing something to get the response. When you do something to make sure you get a particular response, yes, I mean, again, manipulation is usually with a negative intent. This has a positive intent and it's desired by the audience. But most entertainment in some way is looking to manipulate. You can just look at this point, with Steven Spielberg movies. He's a champion at manipulating your emotions. I mean, once you're aware of it, these movies they go down a little bit because he's very blatant in the manipulation, very obvious, very cliched. Yeah. Anyway, my point is about vocabulary. to understand associations and that words have different meanings, and to change it as necessary, to change it appropriately. Don't use manipulation when it comes to entertainment and writing and art and performing. No, use a different word, right? Where we say a performer, right? Rather than a manipulator. It's the same thing, but so it's very, very important, those associations. Anyway, I go off topic a little bit here. So yes, new word, listenership, yes, and Venus, all yes, I love that. I love that all our beings, yes, Norma, yes. And she says, I sure as well.
I said,
Wonderful.
yeah, hello.
Yeah.
So what was the word you used that started with an A instead of manipulation? You
Affect.
Yeah.
Affect, to affect us, not and effect us, both. But when I'm affected, I'm changed, I'm influenced, I'm motivated, or my motivations are elicited, right? Is another word. My motivations have been elicited from me to come out, to come to the fore, to be expanded, right? So, you can say connected as well, but affected. Yeah.
Now I see why you chose Elucidator.
Exactly. As a description, as a self-conception, not a description, as a self-conception. Correct. Correct. Yeah, elucidator. Yeah, that's exactly, because these nuances make a very big difference. Now, I don't mean that you necessarily have to go and become obsessed with vocabulary. I'm not. I really am. When I listen to and I look at those words of the day, there are a lot of words that I know what they mean, but I never use them. I just heard one today. It's a word that authors love to use, but I've never heard somebody use it in conversation, and that's the word assuage, right? And it's spelled ASSAUGED, right?
Yep.
Assuage. You've seen this word written many times, but to say it, it's a stupid word to say, right? I felt assuaged. Kind of sounds dumb to me. So I never use this either, and I try not to write those words either. And it's important now in this world, Sher, being an author also, right? To pay attention to words that are just there for reading but not hearing because of the audio, right? Now, with audiobooks. So it's very key to change that. Very nice. And I would recommend now, especially with this new virtual voices thing that Amazon's brought up, which is great. I can play a clip of that. The voice is very good. It's really excellent. It's very nice. And it's when you listen to it, if you don't know it's AI, you might not even realize it's AI. Maybe after a while, but by the time you start thinking about the voice, you're involved in the story, and it doesn't matter, right? It does a great job. It does a really great job. But now, if you're an author, make your audio book first. Yes, write it and then listen to before you publish your ebook or your print book. Make sure you do it all together. Why? Because with the audio, especially with the AI, you have to listen to it all the way through, right? Because sometimes it will say invalid when it means invalid, as happened in my case, right? And then you have to adjust it and just emphasize the part that needs to be in there. You have to tweak some of it. Mostly they get it right 99% time, but the benefit of that is you get to hear words like assuage, and you say, no, let me put something else in there instead of that, right? Because it sounds lame on audio, it reads fine, right? There's many words like that which you see typically used in writing, but they don't work in audio. And I think it's important because people listen to your writing in their heads, right? When they read, right? They sub-vocalize, and so they're listening to it, right? So when the reader is internally saying assuage, they feel a bit awkward because it's kind of an odd word to say, right? So it's very helpful to listen with that ear, and not only listening for your editing, because sometimes your spell checkers and your editors won't catch things. Like I had the word dong. I'm listening to the AI read my story, and I hear dong. Hey, whoa, pause. What do you mean dong? Where the hell does dong come into my writing? There's no possible way I put dong into this book. Yes, like what the hell? Well, it was doing missing an I. So that's how dong came to there. But dong is an acceptable word. See, so the spell check doesn't say it's a misspelling. Yeah, and there are many examples like that. And. So often in my writing, I just automatically type and when I mean to say an, right? So those things when you hear it, you hear the difference between and, right? Your ear picks it up immediately, right? But in your eye, though, your eye just skips over it because it expects us. And good editors will catch that, right? Because you're reading things word by word. But for me, when I edit for people and I've done some editing, I try to listen to it, because then you catch everything. Very hard to miss things, and commas and pauses. When you hear it in the audio, you can put in commas that for the eye reading aren't necessarily there, but they're essential for the audio. Huh? And again, when you think of how your average reader is, they read and they sub-vocalize, right? I mean, when you practice reader and you read a lot, you learn not to sub-vocalize, right? And then you can read a lot quicker. But that's a skill that has to be learned, right? Most people don't do that. Important stuff. Yes, Norma, all of what you're saying, new word snips, all ears, love that, all our beings. Yes, Aisha, wonderful. Love all your wonderful comments, Norma. Love it. Yeah, it's a very big deal, this, with these podcasts. It's a very big deal. It's not a small project. It's a substantial project. It takes some investment from me, but also, like I said, there is, with the advertisers, when they find somebody that gets good response from this market, and it's a genius mechanism. There's 5-minute interviews. It's fantastic, right? Where they're in between the longer series, for them to be able to gauge their listener response. This is very cool. It's very, very cool. So everybody benefits. I like that. I like situations where everybody benefits. Part of the
Yeah.
Oh, very cool, very cool. And I want to turn you on to this as well, sir. I'll mention you to the producer, and he can invite you for the 5-minute interview.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be fine.
In a 5-minute interview, it's very short. They ask very basic questions. What do you do? What are you about? What do people need to know about you? Stuff like that, right? So it's a 5-minute pitch. That's what it is, right? Saying what you do, what you're about, right? That's it. It's very easy in your case. Yes, I'm a life coach specializing in trauma recovery. That's it. Yeah. Emotional trauma, not physical trauma. You need to say emotional trauma, right? Emotional/psychological trauma. But I wouldn't even put psychological, because you get into that therapy territory. So I would just say emotional trauma.
Yeah, and it covers a lot.
Exactly. It covers a lot, right? And also, just from a legal point of view, you don't want to say you're a therapist.
Nope.
Just know that, right? A lot of coaches don't know this, life coaches.
Right.
And they say, well, I'm a therapist. Yes, in the broad sense of the word, but legally you're not, and you can't say you are if you're not. So you have to do that. And a lot of them don't know this. It's good to be aware of. Very good to be aware of. Very cool, very cool. So that's the big announcement, Norma, that I wanted to share with you. See why I wanted for the live, Norma? There's too much to type. I can't possibly type all of that. Sorry. Yeah.
That's true. But looking at the time, I'm going to have to jet.
Yeah, we're gonna go as well.
I'm sure.
Yeah, because I've got a lot of things to do. Yeah.
And I really wanted to thank Beena for her lead on that motivation. And I'm going to be looking for a letter in the mail on stationery.
Oh yes. We affected Beena to send us letters, Sher and I. Well, I started it, so I'll blame myself. But we affected Beena into sending us actual physical letters on pretty stationery.
But now I have a very important reason to find my way to the local bookstore where there is fine stationery, so I can stationery just for Beena.
Exactly.
Stationery I'll have to write on just to her. So yeah, we're gonna have to send you letters too, Syl. So
yeah, that's why I said Beena's gonna send me some too. Yes, you're welcome to send me too. So yeah, wonderful.
Okay. Well, drop your address in there for me, and let's go from there.
Just to answer Norma real quickly, the billboards, Norma, are in the greater Phoenix area, right? Like I said, there are like 20 of them, or maybe even more, and they're in different places, a whole bunch of them. However, the ads and the podcasts, this will show on all these various things where this PBN group, this podcasting service, program, whatever, where they are, right? So they will have the ads, my my voice ad, which is a 30-second ad, that will play on those, like on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all of the other ones, right? All of the majors. So those will play there, right? So the billboards are separate to the 30-second voice ad. The billboards that's just written, those are in the Phoenix area. Yes. Beena, any
Okay.
comments? Oh, you still here, sure?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I just wanted to say that to Norma. Sorry. Okay, and bye-bye, sure. You have to go, yeah.
Okay. All right. Have a good afternoon.
Yes, you too. You too, wonderful. I'm so thrilled that you came on. Okay, you know what? We've got time. Maybe we'll read the rest of the story. What do you think, Beena? Beena, where'd you go? Oh, Beena may have fallen off. All right. Well, I suppose maybe we won't, because then I'll just leave this and change the title to, motivation and the point. I'll make more announcements about this. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's responding to Norma there, so it's in writing as well. Yeah, so two different things. And the podcasts are, yes, they have with video, but mainly it's just essentially Norma. It's like in the old days, you're listening to radio. Well, radio kind of died when video came. Some people still listen to radio, but most of us listen to music or talk radio, which talk radio is typically politics. Yeah, but the podcasts have filled that gap of programmed radio. Like when we grew up, we listened to the radio, and you had all the different shows, and which were the same as TV shows, just in radio form, right, with actors and everything, quiz shows and what all, right. The podcasts, they don't quite do that, but they do fill the non-fiction part of radio that's not politics. Now, of course, there are political podcasts, but many podcasts that are about life change, self improvement, etc. Like this, this they don't provide the content themselves, but all the people that they invite on it are about this topic, which is kind of cool because that's what makes them so popular. Because when you're just one person coming with your own podcast, you're coming from a particular angle, and of course you're going to have limited listenership. But self change and, well, it's not only self change, self improvement, but also anything that is involving kind of, I guess they don't use the term moreness, but I would say Moreness-Living, like interior design or art or whatever, or Reiki or yoga or whatever. All of these surrounding topics, these are all people that they have interviewed, which is a huge field that people are interested in, right? Especially if you're searching for something that resonates, that grabs you. And this is likely why I scored so high, because I did speak about Nobelia, the noble ideal, being noble, not in the hereditary sense, but actuality of it. I think that's why I grabbed, because wow, this is different, this is new. And it's a very new, very radical conceptuality that I share. Very, very, very radical. It's very uncommon entirely. I mean, there's nobody out there that has this perspective, at least not yet. Assuming it will come once I start sharing it, right? It's a big deal. It's a big deal what I do. It's a very, very different paradigm. Huge. Beena, I'm not hearing you, Beena. I'm not hearing you. I'm keen to hear you. I see you still here, but I don't see your audio button. It doesn't show me if you ask to unmute. No, it doesn't give me that option. I don't know where you are, Beena. No, no. I mean, it shows you, yeah, but I think you've lost connection and it hasn't dropped you just yet, because it's not showing your mic. Unless your mic's not working. No. Look, Beena, is your mic working? There's no mic symbol. Interesting. Okay. We refresh to see if there are more comments from Norma. I wish it would do the automatic refresh, Norma. It really makes a big difference. Every time I refresh, then I have to mute the sound because it comes loud and it's disruptive. Yes, love you too, Norm. Love you too. Love you too, Norm. Love you too. You know, being friends is understanding your friend. And when we really, really capital you understand, there's a very good meaning for understanding, yes. A lot of people say, yes, I understand, but they don't know that they understand. They just believe they understand. But capital U understanding, you check it. It's based on discernment. It's based on thinking things through to the end. It's based on multiple perspective shifting. It's based on understanding the greater context of things and motivations, the intents. All of this goes to understanding, right? So, and you've checked it, you've tested it, get feedback on it. So when you really understand a friend, you know them fairly well. Of course, you don't know them completely because people are changing all the time, right? But you have some measure of confidence that you checked what you know and you verified it not only through what the person says, but through their behavior, circumstances, everything, right? And understanding the greater context of their lives and so on, right? So to understand somebody, it takes quite a lot of doing, right? You have to understand psychology itself in general, how people think, what motivates them, particularly, and you understand how motivations work. Then you can get to know the motivations of people. When you know their motivations, then you understand them easier. Especially when you put the motivations within the context of their paradigm that they operate. Really get to understand, right? So, very important point. Very important point. Very big deal to understand. So yeah, no more exciting stuff coming. Exciting stuff. Like Beena said, you know, that I don't do this for recognition, but to be recognized that I am doing something differently. This is gratifying because I do like to share about the things that I do. And again, I share it because I feel it is an important contribution to the world at large. Does it matter to me that anybody hears it? No, not really. Yes, of course, the more you hear it, the quicker it gets infused into society. But when you put things out there, when you put them out there, right, that's it. They go into the system, the greatest system of the world. It's out there. And sometimes people can pick it up just out of the air. It's an incredible thing, right, to put stuff out there. And when you do so earnestly, it gets there. Right? Even if nobody's watching, like now, just you and me, and Norma, I think, you know, well, Beena, but I think Beena's dropped. Yeah. So this is, you're still putting it out there. Even if
Yeah,
nobody
listening.
sees this. Ah, yes, Norma. Yes, Beena. Okay. So I'm keen
Yes.
to hear more, Beena. I'm keen to hear comments, feedbacks, anything.
Yes, just a minute. I was eating, so that's why. So I'm
Oh, I see. Okay, you're stuffing. I mean, you were eating.
listening. Yeah.
I just tease. The very last thing that Beena will do is stuff her face rudely, like, you know, some of us might occasionally. Yeah. No,
Okay.
Beena,
So,
no. This is not possible for Beena. At least not that I'm aware of.
yes.
Right? maybe privately, but I still.
No, no. Okay.
That's why I tease
Okay,
Beena.
let me just finish and I'll be back in a minute.
All right, no problem, Beena, no problem. I am keen to finish the story now. Tomorrow, Norma, while you're here, tomorrow we won't have a live. I have to go to the doctor. Okay, and the doctor's this time tomorrow. Just it's right in 6 minutes time tomorrow. It'll be my doctor's appointment, and not for any particular reason. It's just that I went when I had that trouble with my stomach and I was really ill for a while, and they don't know what it was, by the way. Still never found out. That's why I don't go to the doctors generally because they never know what the hell is going on. Anyway, at least with me, maybe I'm so different that my illnesses are different too. Very possible. Alien things. So who knows? I don't know. Maybe I really am an alien sometimes. You know, I tease about this, but sometimes I really think that at least I may be human, but because I'm so different in my psychology, it may affect my body also. I really feel this. Who knows? Anyway, long and the short is, I'm not. I'm only going back now because it's a 3-month follow up. So the doctor is very nice. I like her, so she's pretty good. It's kind of, you know, I have to help her somewhat as well, but still, she just wanted to follow up. to make sure everything's okay. Go and see. And go and see. It's just good to check in. So I'll tell you my weight again, Norma. See if I picked up weight or not, because they weigh you when you get there. I was really surprised that I thought I had picked up weight. I thought I picked up, at least more than just a little bit, like 10, 15, 20 pounds. But no, I still weighed the same, even with my heavy leather jacket and my clothing on, as I weighed 40 years ago. Like, wow, I was quite surprised. I was very surprised, very pleasantly surprised. Actually. I really thought I picked up weight, but I guess I have. Unless I've shrunk. Yes, as you get older, you shrink a bit. So now, though, when you shrink, you're going to weigh less. But if you put on weight and you're shrunken size, then you're going to weigh the same. So my back of my mind said, but wait a second, maybe. I don't know. I feel the same height. I don't feel like I'm shrunken yet, but maybe. I don't know. Just, soul foolishness. But still, that's how my mind works. Don't assume. Don't take things for granted. Look at the nuance. Could very well be. Or maybe my bones have gotten lighter, and that compensates for the little bit of extra weight that I've. But by the way, I need to say this is very important when it comes to now weight and extra weight. Right? Okay, so anybody listening, this is very important. Let me emphasize this. Pay attention to what I'm going to say here. I am not fat. My chest just slipped a bit.
Yes, it's a bit behind.
Okay, a very big difference. I'm not fat. My chest just slipped a little bit. That's it. That's all it is. Right?
Yes.
Just so you know. Right? Just so you know. Very important. I love that joke. It comes from when I was a kid in the Asterix comics. Now, Asterix not big in America, but in Europe, Asterix is huge. Yeah. And Asterix's friend Obelix, he used to say this. And Obelix was somewhat rotund around the middle, and that pear shape, right? The classic pear shape. So, he would say this quite regularly. We get quite upset when people say with this. No, I'm not fat. That was his line. And I always remember that. I said, I want to find an opportunity to use this line. And it stayed with me. Oh, there I got the opportunity finally to say it. As appropriate. Anyway, from any comments on what we said before we sign off here, Beena? Yeah. Got to have fun. Beena, where'd you go? Where'd you go, Beena? You're muted.
Yes, I was muted. Sorry. Yes.
Oh, that's all right.
Okay. So it was today's live was just because of appropriateness. It was not planned. The plan was like, of course, the story and the feedback and of course repeat backs on that. But because we got a good surprise that Sher joined us, and then so she had a wonderful story. Not a story, sorry, wonderful news about that. Okay, what's happening? And this is the true example and very profound example of having capital D trust. Trusting that things are going to work. Yes, also, Syl will definitely, he would say that, because of patience. I said, okay, patience was a reason because that's why it was too late. Like, not too late, but it is like, okay, late. Sorry, just to be precise in my vocabulary.
Delayed, not late.
Oh, yes, delayed. Yes. So thank you so much. So this is, but the capital T trust and trust in general. When we are doing things because we choose to, we want to, then there is no attachment. Of course, nothing should be dependent on the outcomes and the results. I did, and I am doing because I want to, because I choose to. This is the capital R responsibility we take of our actions and our intents. When we choose to do something, This is our choice.
Yeah.
It is not dependent on the outcomes and results or consequences or
Correct.
implications.
Correct.
No, we
Yeah, we
choose
do
to
it
do
because
that.
it's right, because it's in attunement.
And also that, okay, this is my choice. It could be okay, yes, might be not be for other people. Okay, no, that was not so profound. Okay, could be. They might be more aware of us. They might have a different perspective on things. But when someone is doing something purely out of self-honesty and by practicing capital C choice, making choices, then they don't have any impatience in them. They don't have that because they are not waiting for any outcome. They do things because they want to do, because they choose to do, because that was right for them, because that was impeccable or appropriate at that time. And this is something, yes, okay, I'm reluctant to accept, but it's a very profound way to understand capital P patience.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to do, you are not waiting for anything. You were living
Correct.
in those moments fully and completely
Correct.
because it was your deliberate
Correct.
choice. So how this could be like, okay, oh yes, it is not coming through and okay, no recognition, nothing, because you were doing that for yourself.
Yeah.
So for you, it is not delayed. For you, it is not expected. You were just doing things out of your honesty, out of your earnestness, out of your impeccability or
And
your
your
appropriateness
and your
and your
moreness.
moreness. Yes,
And
and you were doing
attunement.
those things.
And attunement especially.
Yes. Yes.
Very important.
So then, of course, it actually just liberates us when we do things earnestly, when we do things via attunement, when we make deliberate choice. It liberates us from any expectation. That's it. And there is
Very
no
big
need
deal.
for being patient or all that. No, because we did, and we are moving on. Everything else is coming or will come is a bonus.
Yes.
No
Yes.
expectation.
All in its time. All in its time. So you've got to be patient and do what's right. But at the same time, you also got to, when opportunity comes like this, I'm not really ready fully yet, but still you've got to do it, right? You've got to jump, and then it stimulates you to get fully ready. So yeah, so very important. Very, very important. Very, very important. And before we go, Beena, will you have a look at overview and refresh overview real quickly, and leave your
Okay.
leave your microphone on.
Okay. Okay. Right there. Refreshing my overview. Oh. What? Wow. Oh,
See?
oh,
See?
thank you, universe. Thank you, universe. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my
Yes,
gracious.
yes,
And
yes,
one of them
yes.
is just what I just sent offer. Just give
Wow.
me a second.
Wow. Okay. Oh, wonderful. So you see, it is a bit
Yes.
connected, right? All right. So
Yes.
I just wanted to share Venus' excitement and enthusiasm, right? Just it's a long story to explain. Doesn't matter. It's not relevant. I just wanted to hear Venus' joy and beauty and
You got me.
celebration. It's a big
You got
deal.
me actually. Oh wow.
Yeah, but appropriately so. Appropriately so. Yeah. So that's why I said to
Mm.
Bina to leave her mic on, and I was listening, and saying, "Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it." Ah, there it is, there it is. Too wonderful,
Oh
too
wow.
wonderful. So
Shukran
good
Billah.
stuff. Just we had
Shukran
just good sales,
Billah.
and again, with stuff like this, we must be aware and appreciative. Yes, it's sales. Yes, it's business. Yes, we expect it, but we don't take it for granted, which means we always appreciate, right? And we got a couple extra than what we're expecting, so it's wonderful. So let's see. Norma says, I've been eating too. What did you eat, Norma? And you remember, tell her you had some spiritual healing. I will tell my doctor that. Yes. Right. I'll say, Norma, my friend Norma Boswell in England sent me some spiritual. Thank you, Norma. Thank you. Pardon? You're excused, Norma. You're excused. Whatever you did, I don't know, but you're excused. We pardon. No problem. What have you been eating, Beena? I've been eating also.
You know that, okay, it is not going to be very
Oh, I
exciting
know
for
what
you.
Beena had. Beena had lentils with some rice And I
Yes.
suspect a little bit of chicken.
No, actually
Uh,
not. So today
Oh,
was completely vegetarian dish. We call it
oh,
khichdi. It's
oh,
lentil and rice. They're
oh.
mixed together, but they're not mushy at all. They're like, okay, very, very well cooked, and with some roasted cumin and some tomato and chili garlic sauce.
Oh.
This is what I was eating.
Interesting, interesting. So Norma's vegetarian also. I think Norma said it's
Mm,
vegan now, right? Norma, I'm not sure.
mm,
Yeah. Well, anyway,
mm,
um, Norma vegetarian slash vegan. I think maybe it's bit of both there.
mm,
So
mm.
Norma says, I choose to love all. Yes, Norma. No, no, absolutely. It's part of Nobelia-Living. How can you not? When you love the all caps all, when you love the all, how can you not love what is contained in the all? Yeah, it's difficult. It's a challenge. It's difficult. But
Yes.
that's a topic for another day. A topic for another day. All right. So
Yes.
now, what Beena was getting excited about. I wanted to say, yes, it's business, but when your business is in attunement and the magic happens, it becomes magical. Like we love doing our business things. We get great joy out of it because it's just
Oh, yes.
part
Oh,
of the
yes.
moreness. Yeah. Vegan says Norma. Says is vegan.
Oh, okay. But you could eat my dinner, Norma, very, very
Yes.
easily because nothing
Yes.
goes into that. Even
Correct.
today,
Correct.
we didn't have that yogurt or curd or anything. So no
Right.
dairy also.
Wow. Wow. So which is vegan? No, dairy is vegan.
Yes. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So very cool. Oh, okay. And then I saw your vegan comment come live without needing to update, Norma. It's very cool. Why I did it now, but can do it. Can. I don't know. It's just misbehaving a little bit. Brilliant. All right. On that note, we'll say goodbye and we'll see you on Friday, not tomorrow, right? Because tomorrow I'm going to the doctor.
Yes.
And Friday will be important because I'm going to finish the story. I've really got to finish the last. Okay, we kind of came to a climax, but there's still the after, the denouement, the unraveling, the connectivity, the moreness. That's something that's very much a pattern in my writing. I will write up to a climax, and then there's the afterthought of it, the connecting, the putting it together, that unexpected moreness, which really makes the story into more than a story. Makes it a capital S story than a little S story. Right? When you end on the climax, little S story. Right? That's what you expect from a story. But that after is that moreness, connectivity, that deepness. And that's especially when it's a Biella story, you can expect that, right? There's that extra. Look
Yes.
like in the story Songs and Hearts, right? That chapter where they're in the great trees with a great song, right? You go to the great song and there's the crescendo and the experience. But then there's that little part afterwards where Biella shares about the innocence of the world and the innocence with a T, right? Not the innocence of the world. That's something else entirely. Innocent people who are innocents. And she shares about that and she puts it out onto the wind. She makes this gesture into the world because Dream Deer happens to arrive there, right? And this is how it brings the topic up. And then Ursula and Illumina and Hala join her in this gesture of this understanding. Like Ursula apologizes to say, look, for all the innocents out there, I didn't understand and I didn't connect, accept my apology. Right? And so this is a profound sharing, earnest sharing that they put out onto the winds of the world. But my point is that that's the extra that makes that chapter not just a fantastic story with a nice climax, but gives it that extra level of extraness. In other words, moreness. Right? And I try to do this in my stories because this is how I relate to the world. Yeah, there's always that extra moreness to it, right? That's why Biella also, she always shares something and says, "Oh, and there's more." And that's where where Nora and Aki and the aspirants started saying, chorusing, "There's always more." Because this just was part of Biella's sharing, part of the habit. And same for me. Yeah? Obviously, I'm writing Biella, but it's a lot of me in Biella. Of course, there's a lot of what I want to be in Biella too, but still, there's still a lot of me in Biella, right? So anyway, just wanted to share that this Moreness story. So the part on Friday is that extra Moreness part. It's very important. Very important.
Yes.
All right. So we'll see you on Friday. We'll see you on Friday. Thank you, Beena. Thank you, Beena.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Syl, for sharing
Yes.
wonderful news with us. And thank you, Sher. You were here, but I was busy. Well, you just left and I was eating. And thank you, Norma, for being here. And
Yes.
and
Norma made.
glad to be. Yes.
Yeah, I just say thank you for all your wonderful comments, Norma. They really
Yes,
add a
okay.
lot. They really add a lot.
Yes.
They're a big deal, Norma.
And
Let
thank
me
you,
just add
everyone.
something for Norma. Sorry. So we've got a bit of time here. Normally, I don't have time to elaborate a little bit. We've got a little bit of time. Norma, your comments aren't only important to me personally, because I like to hear what you're thinking and it gives me the response, and I like to hear how you understand, and 101 personal reasons why I love your comments. But they also matter for the live. Facebook, when it sees a ton of comments like this, it says, oh, this must be popular, this must be important, and they will now share it on more people's timelines, right? If nothing's going on, no comments, no shares, no likes, they say, oh, this is boring, and then they don't show other people this, right? So the more shares, the more likes, the more comments, the more interaction you have, the more widely Facebook shares this thing. Now, again, I don't do it for this reason, but if it happens, it is good. Yes, it's not my motivation, but I enjoy it when it comes, right? So wanting and liking, two different things. I don't want it, but I like it when I get it, right? So your comments matter. They actually matter, Norma. Not just to me personally, but they matter in terms of the greatness of Facebook and sharing and getting the sharing that I'm doing, spreading it. And so you help me spread it with your comments, via Facebook. So see, it's important, Norma. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool, Beena?
Yes.
Yeah. Just some little extra moreness involved there that we might not necessarily be aware of. Cool, Beena? Right? I like that. I like that a lot. So very cool. Very cool. All right. Cheerio, Beena and Syl. Good meeting tomorrow with your doc. Me too, but over the phone. Oh, okay. Very cool. Coincidence. She said coin incidents. Cheerio. Cheerio, Norma. Can you say cheerio, Beena?
Yes, cheerio. Yes.
No, I mean like as a goodbye. Cheerio. It's different to goodbye, right? That Norma saying
Okay.
cheerio, Beena and Syl. So I gotta say cheerio back.
Thank you. Thank you, Norma.
Oh,
Thank you, Norma.
Norma says now I feel used. No, Norma, no. No, it's just bonus. It's just mourns. Yeah? It's not about being used. I want your comments. I want them. I actually think, Norma, that your multiple comments will only count as one comment from Facebook's point of view. So you don't think of it in that way. Right? So yes, it matters, but not a huge deal. But yeah, I like it because I like to respond. I like the stimulus. I like to hear from you. Like that's why you hear me ask Beena, what do you think, Beena? For me, I can't just talk one-sided. I want that connectivity. I want to hear back. Very important. That's why too, when you share talk, I will give my feedback, my comments, my perceptions, what comes up in me. And stuff is stimulated in me sometimes just by what people say. It may not be directly connected, but this comes up in me, right? And I have a lot of stuff that comes up in me. That's why, right now my hair is fairly short, but it grows very quickly. It's very wild. I got a lot of fertilizer inside there. So, so I understand that conversely, when I'm the one listening and I share, a lot of stuff comes up in me sometimes. Right? Quite fun. Quite fun. A lot of fun. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. You were saying goodbye, Norma? I mean, Beena? And Norma.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Whoever is going to watch is recorded. Please do like and comment. Also, if you like to, this is something we do just because this is fun for us. This is moreness for us. But of course, we love when people join us and they share their comments and questions, whatever. So we are open for that. Though it's not an obligation, you have to do that. No, but it is just simply that because we do it these things just to enjoy, just to have moreness. I got so much value out of it. So for me, it is something important for me. And it's a profound opportunity for anyone who can just come and discuss things. Just by sharing, capital as sharing, we can resolve so much. And of course, we can get so much more than that. So it's a profound opportunity. If anyone is willing, you're more than welcome. So thank you so much, Norma. Thank you so much, Syl. And thank you so much, Sher. Love you. Love you guys.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Love you
Yeah.
guys. Bye bye, Beena. Bye bye. Bye bye, everybody. Love you all. All right. So end meeting. End.